This is Sebring, jam-packed with fabulous machinery. And here's an example. A baby Alfa Romeo, the lightning-fast Giulietta Spider. In motor racing, as in just about everything else, there's paperwork. In this case, registration forms. And then into the lineup for the first hurdle, technical inspection. En route, David gets his number, 51. This identifies the car as a member of the MG racing team. And now it's his turn for checkup. Running gear, seat belts, fuel tank, and particularly brakes are tested to ensure maximum protection for drivers and spectators alike. Now the coveted sticker of official approval, and David is off to another hurdle, a medical exam. Just as thorough as the car inspection. David is okayed. Next, drivers, pitmen, and stewards discuss rules of the course. Meanwhile, the straightaway doubles as an airport, and an aerial visitor gets a tow from tiny Vespa scooters. The passenger on this one is Fangio, world's champion. Over in the pit area, the pressure is on those unsung heroes, the mechanics. They bear full responsibility for their car's fitness. The driver, after all, has his hands full with the task of driving. And so the 1,000 nagging worries of car preparation fall on the pitmen. And worries start today with first practice. Here's another kind of practice, too. This crew is prepping for the Le Mans start, in which drivers dash across the track, leap into machines, and then drive off. And that's not as easy as it sounds. A fumbled safety belt or a foot snarled in floor pedals can cost precious seconds on the starting line. Practice is in dead earnest. Lap times are screamingly fast. Fangio posts 3 minutes, 27 seconds in the practice Corvette. And then he turns almost 2 seconds faster in his own Maserati. Last year's record was 3:29.7. The records will tumble this year. Let's take a look at this 5 2/10 mile circuit with 13 corners. 1st under the bridge is Collins, a Ferrari, followed by 2 production Corvettes. Then comes Hawthorn in the Jag as the cars get rolling. Now through the chicane and into the S's. Next, full throttle into Big Bend. These first turns of the first lap where nobody gives way are motor racing's moment of truth. Now hit the brakes for the hairpin, and then throttle again to power down warehouse straight at full bore. The hard right, then hard left of the warehouse turns finds the field sorting into position, with Collins still leading in his scarlet Ferrari. Behind him is Sterling Moss in a Maserati. Next is Phil Hill, the Californian, in another Ferrari. Now booming out of a right-angled bend down the north-south runway, the field screams through the first lap. There's still no sign of Jean Behra, who started Fangio's Maserati, or of the rapid new Corvette. Here's Hansgen in number 7 Jaguar, passing Dungan in number 2 Corvette. Now the slowdown for the U-turn, and into the main straight with everything pushed to the firewall. That's how it went in the first lap and the first hour, with Collins holding his Ferrari in the lead and Behra almost 16 seconds behind him. And the grind continues. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Here comes David Ash into the pits for a fuel stop and general check on the number 51 MG. While attendants swarm over the car, David unglues himself from the seat and heads for the pit.
How's it going? It's running fine, Gus, like a dream. Just watch that corner going into the main straight. I find second gear better than third there.
How's the oil pressure holding up?
Oil pressure's fine. I think it's running a little bit hot, but you got
Hey,
to
give me a cloth over there.
I'll get it.
Hold it, honey. You'll get us disqualified. Only 2 men in the pit.
Everything's checked, nothing's wrong, and the MG goes back into battle again, this time with co-driver Gus Ehrman at the wheel. The sun gets higher and hotter in the Florida sky as the race grinds on. The heat takes its toll, and fading brakes start to plague the leaders. The smaller cars are lapped repeatedly, and like this Renault, they move over for faster cars. Number 29, which just passed the Renault, has Chuck Hassan at the wheel. And now, leading the MG he just passed, he comes boring through the chicane. And there he goes. Now Behra, in the number 19 Maserati, leads the race. And he just cut one unbelievable lap in 3:24 and 5/10, 92 miles an hour. With Behra out ahead in a healthy lead, the two drivers alternate every 3 hours and conserve their machine as the day wears on. Behind them, the field is having its troubles with overtaxed engines, fading brakes, and drivers stricken with sunstroke. On each of these corners, brakes come in for grueling punishment. Corners are close together. There's no time for cooling. There goes Collins in number 11 Ferrari, still holding tightly to second position. Now coming up to enter the hairpin is Behra, increasing his lead with Fangio's car, number 19. Here comes Bonnier in number 22 Maserati. He has just relieved Scarlatti at the wheel of this Italian machine, one of 7 Maserati entries. Driver changes are frequent now. At the 3rd hour, Bill Pollock, West Coast driver, relieved Lance Reventlow at the wheel of Reventlo's spanking new Maserati. And at the same time, Lou Brero, lumberman from California, was pulled from the cockpit of his car with heat prostration. A young Maston Gregory took the wheel. Corvette Super Sports, Detroit's highest hope yet in sports car racing, has been out since shortly after 1 o'clock. 3 other Corvettes are still running strongly at the end of the 4th hour of racing, when 15 of the 65 cars have retired with a variety of ailments. And here is an example. Wiley, driver of this Lotus, is just as determined in tough luck as Juan Fangio in number 19 is with better fortune. Under the rules, drivers may receive no help on the course, so Wiley is pushing his car into the pits for repairs, which must be done with parts and tools carried in the car, plus the help of his pit crew. Mary clocks David, while Wiley's still trying. Work in the pits grows more important as darkness approaches, and the fast edge that careful preparation gives to cars is showing up even more strongly as the grind goes on. The Fangio Behra car is building its lead every lap, but the race is still wide open as the 7th hour passes. Here's 15, the Gregory Brero Ferrari, in for new rubber, and still a strong contender for one of the first 3 spots. There's warm support from this quarter as the Ferrari bounces back into the race with Gregory behind the wheel. Flagmen who line the course are especially alert now as fatigue begins to take its toll of drivers. Now, with the 8th hour ending at 6 o'clock, the Works Jaguar, piloted by Mike Hawthorn, who drives with a jaunty bow tie, has made its bid to overtake the flying Fangio. But his bid must be accompanied by racing luck, for the Argentine pilot has a 3-lap lead on the Englishman, and this is just too much of a handicap. Behind the Jaguar, by a single lap, is another smaller Maserati, with Sterling Moss and Harry Schell sharing the driving chores. Schell, who ranks with leading European drivers, is now at the wheel of that car. Jaguar, wearing the white and blue stripes that are American racing colors, leads a pack of cars through the hairpin. The car colors, incidentally, have a meaning. Italian entries are flaming red. British cars wear green, despite the U.S. racing superstition against that color. German cars are silver, and French machines an attractive blue. So there's a reason for color. These difficult warehouse turns look a little different from the air, but they're proving anything but simple to Dungan in number 29 Ferrari, who's due in any time now for relief. And here's David Ash coming through in the MG, still running strongly with 87 laps to his credit at the 5 p.m. count. You see, there's a reason why the smaller cars keep charging on. This is many races in one. There are winners judged in each of 9 classes, depending on engine size. Oh, watch for a moment now, as one driver gives a wave-off to a car trying to pass him without possible clearance. In addition, there's a separate contest for index of performance, judged on a handicap based on engine size. Here's Hawthorn, second-place Jaguar. And as night approaches, in comes the number 27 Maserati of young Lance Raventlow for tires and fuel. There's a driver change, a general check, and over in a nearby pit, Hawthorn's number 5 Jaguar goes back to the fray. Hawthorn's hot for that second position, and he hopes to make up time during the tough hours of the night, where he's an old hand with years of experience in the 24-hour endurance race at Le Mans. Back at the warehouse turns, we find number 7, the Hansgen Boss Jaguar, dicing with 45, a Porsche, driven pell-mell by Ken Miles, who makes a specialty of chewing on tailpipes. This is a classic example of the Miles spooking technique. And now the picture changes. The lights on signal has been given. These are the most dangerous minutes of the day, as drivers fight to adjust their eyes to the darkness after more than an hour of squinting into the setting sun. Illuminated only by the headlights of their cars. Fangio still holds his lead during these final hours of night racing, and he's almost sure to break records. Hard-driving Hawthorn has lost second place to Sterling Moss and Harry Schell. They'll make it a 1-2 win for Maserati if luck holds out. And there's the signal, ending the 12-hour grind. Here come the headlights of fabulous Fangio and his victorious number 19. He's greeted in the winner's circle by Donald J. Smith, president of the American Oil Company. This makes 2 straight at Sebring for the world champion, and he rates those orange blossom laurels. He's calling excitedly for Jean Behra, the doughty Frenchman, who gained the early lead and then turned it over to Fangio for improvement. The network announcer seems to be having scant luck with the winner, but he is trying. Now the crowd is parting to make room for Behra. And here he comes to share the honors and the orange blossoms. They'll be rejoicing back in Italy, too, where Maseratis came home first and second, and other Italian cars took 4th, 6th, and 7th places. Celebration is the keynote in Florida tonight. This pair really earned that coveted Amico trophy. They tumbled 3 records: fastest lap, best average speed, and longest distance covered in 12 hours.